So you can hate me all you want in the comments, okay? You can hate me all you want and tell me how stupid I am and how Proposition 22 is bad and how everybody should have voted no. But the point is you are in the minority of people who think that that is a good thing. This vote is a message to the legislators who passed this ridiculous bill that you are wrong. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Neil Wintereg, joined as always by Dr. Greg Wintereg, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development, and you can find out more about his book, Fun at Work, down below. You can also sign up down below for a very new consulting program that we are launching. There is a waiting list. You can go in, you can fill it out. It's called The Adventure to Profit. That will also be down there. But today we are here to talk more about our favorite subject. We ran out of Uber money and we have to rebank a check. So here we are. We're gonna make a 9-minute and 32-second video to uphold our contract. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to say that. The truth is, we've never made $1 off of Uber and Lyft.
No matter what.
No matter what my comment section will say. They just wish that they were making as much Uber money as we were. So we're here to talk about Proposition 22. So for those of you who have been following, maybe you're new, whatever, California last year had the AB5 bill come out. It was a disaster. It restricts the independent contractors that you can employ and hire in the state. They approved that or got it passed in the state. And so they got this bill passed. Uber and Lyft and really all of Silicon Valley have been fighting, and it is rumored that $200 million were put into basically a proposition to be voted on that would eliminate the gig economy from following the AB5 guidelines.
Right, so what it did, just make sure everybody's on the same page, it took the independent contractors for Uber and Lyft and all of a sudden made them employees.
Correct.
And so Uber and Lyft were the target no matter what any legislator had to say about it. They were, big business, evil, and so they legislated against them, and then what they ended up doing is including every other independent contractor in the state because they didn't think it through.
So ever since AB5 came out, there have been a number of lawsuits, judges' orders, making people exempt for certain industries out of AB5. But the problem is that unless an industry had hundreds of millions of dollars behind it, or tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of truckers to come together and say, we need to be exempt from this, industries have been completely ruined. And so now that Uber and Lyft have actually gotten a vote from the residents of California. So you can hate me all you want in the comments, okay? You can hate me all you want and tell me how stupid I am and how Proposition 22 is bad and how everybody should have voted no. But the point is you are in the minority of people who think that that is a good thing. That's per the numbers of California. I'm in Florida. I did not vote.
So what did Prop 22 do?
So Prop 22 now makes the gig economy able to be a gig economy again.
With independent contractors.
With independent contractors, and it's up to those people to decide what they do and how they do it, etc. Okay,
and now. It passed by 3 votes, right?
Yeah, something like 1.7 million votes. Let's see here.
The citizens of California got to actually decide and overrule the legislators.
2.3 million votes it won by. It won by 2.3 million votes.
So what this did is it smacked down this whole AB5 against Uber and Lyft. So now Uber and Lyft drivers are exempt.
Now here's the problem. Uber and Lyft were the target for this entirety of the AB5 bill.
Yes.
Which now means, and I'm going to leave an article down below from Yahoo Finance, I believe it is, Yahoo News. There is some devastating information in here of a lady in Southern California with a small flower shop who used to bring in her friends to work for her to help make flower bouquets for weddings and banquets, who ever since this passed, since AB5 came into effect, is no longer allowed to have people help her. She's going through breast cancer and other physical problems and can't work herself.
Right.
And now has no money because she's not allowed to have a friend come and make a flower bouquet for her. All because You were told to believe that Uber and Lyft were bad companies. Now, here's the thing. I kind of agree with you about that, okay? You still don't believe me when I say that. The point is the laws to govern a large corporation cannot be used statewide to affect the Pee Wee football coach, a musician, a stand-up comedian, or a lady who is trying to sell flowers. And that's the real problem with AB5. And that's why this proves, this vote is a message to the legislators who passed this ridiculous bill that you are wrong.
And these legislators, I say it all the time, the politician has not been born. They can outsmart the entrepreneur. Well, it also works in reverse. The politician has not been born that actually understands business. These full-time politicians, and okay, maybe these legislators have other jobs or whatever, but I cannot imagine an entrepreneur in the state of California who had the power to draft this legislation to affect millions, possibly even tens of millions of people, did not think it through, could not see past the tip of their Uber and Lyft nose and have any concept of what this was about to destroy for people like this lady, for bands who wanted to play a gig, for writers who are just independent contractors writing copy. And it's just like, please, legislators, open your eyes and please just stay out of business. We've got the framework here. Just leave it alone and let private enterprise do its thing. Uber and Lyft exploded because people wanted to drive. They wanted to take their phone and put it in their car and make a few extra dollars for a few extra hours a week. Leave it alone. Just please, leave it alone.
And now I want to talk really quickly beforehand, before we end off, about the complete opposite effect, okay? And this, I don't know how to bring this topic up, and I'm talking very candidly here with you guys. I don't know how to bring this topic up in a YouTube video. It's almost like I could talk about it for hours at a podcast setting or whatever, but the dishonesty of the media and who you need to talk to. Now, when I start going down this path, people go, oh, fake news, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I want to talk to you about is I found two completely different articles about Proposition 22 that I read back to back that could not be any more different. And I want to put them both in the thing, okay? Down below. The first one was from Yahoo News, which talks about the importance of the ability for people to be independent contractors. It talks about this lady in California with the flower shop who can't make money now because she's not allowed to hire her friends to come in and work for her. And then there's another one from, I don't know who this website is. It just, when I Googled Prop 22, these two popped up. Some website called Curbed, curbed.com. Alyssa Walker does a thing, an article, and it's actually really sad to read, if not hilarious at the same time. So the title is Uber and Lyft just bought a law in California, and it is this entire, the world is ending because Uber and Lyft paid $200 million to sway all the voters. They had advertising up during the World Series, and poor little no against Proposition 22 people were just people out there trying to make it work, and they didn't have $200 million. And it totally ignores the fact that, again, Uber and Lyft were targeted to get AB5 passed, and I still have not been able to be told by one person in the comments why Uber and Lyft's business practices should cause this lady in Southern California with a flower shop to no longer be able to work.
Right.
And that is where you have to look at news and media from two completely different vantage points. You have to be able to look at multiple articles and multiple sources of information about the same thing. With written articles and written things, there's a way to put information out there that might not be true, that seems true. And I just want you to look at these two articles, the Yahoo News and the Curbed one, and you tell me which writer probably has a more succinct message and proper viewpoint.
Well, and I think you have to take into account as you're reading this, listen, in This is not a dictatorship. We don't have one person who gets to decide, the king, whatever else happens to the peasants. This is a democracy. It's a society. We actually all do need each other. And there comes a time when you have to make a decision based on the greatest good for the greatest number of people. And so some legislator thought they were helping a lot of people who were being taken advantage of and oppressed by Uber and Lyft, but then they ended up creating collateral damage for so many more. So when you're reading these articles, of course there's always a pro and a con, but you have to take into account who is going to benefit the most, who's going to be hurt the most, and you can't just always have your way in the United States or any other country. So whenever you're choosing a side, try to take a look at the other side and say, well, what if it was like this? Okay, it's not like that. What if it was like this? Well, then what would happen? You go, oh my gosh, this would be terrible for many, many more people. So you can make your case that it's awful for Uber and Lyft drivers, but how many comments have we seen that Uber and Lyft drivers don't mind? They were fine. They like being able to take their phone and pop it in a holder and make a few extra bucks.
It's very hard for people to do that.
You get emotional and you want to be right and I'm right and everybody's
And that's why
wrong.
everybody thinks we're getting paid by Ubers, because I'm saying something in Uber's defense, which automatically means
you're being paid.
Well, that I'm being paid and that I think Uber is a great business. It's not, right? And me saying, yes, an Uber driver is an independent contractor automatically means that I agree with everything that anybody ever associated with Uber ever tweeted. That's not what I'm saying. And this is the same thing with these news articles. And I really do ask you if you've made it this far. We've rambled here the last 7 minutes. He had no idea. I mean, we're going as we go here. I want you to look at the 2 news articles that I put down below from Yahoo and from Curbed. And I really want you to actually try and see a difference between the meaning and the message between the 2 and what it stands for. I mean, the person in the Curbed article was just losing their mind about how Uber drivers don't get benefits and paid vacations. And you know, I've never had benefits and paid vacations on any of my jobs I've ever worked on, and I never drove for Uber.
Right.
It's my decision to be an independent contractor, not yours. And that's why it's important that people know about this, is because depending on who the president is the next go around, one of the people who they say has won whatever has supported a nationwide AB5 type of a regulation. And you just have to look at it not from whether you like a politician, don't like a politician, but you have to look at from, is this bill good for me and for others or not? And that's what we're talking about here today.
So, thanks for watching. If you've made it this far,
good job.
Congratulations. And thank you for listening to Neil's rant today.
Yes.
I pretty much was an unpaid observer.
Yes. You paid me to observe. We'll see you next week on the newsroom.